make it rain. People have to fight. No genocide. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now.
All right, guys, you can't block the hallway, okay? You got to make space for people to walk.
They represent in our minds and in our hearts. We're going to recite the Mourner's Cottage, in which we praise and bless God, even in our grief. And perhaps because of it, we sanctify God and we sanctify life, and we continue to fight for the living.
Yibarach, Yishtarach, Yitahar, Yitarach, Yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitalel, V'yitalal, Shmei Kedusha, Rimu, Re'elam, Birkata, Tushbechata, Ukamata, Tamiram, Yomad, Yimru, Amen. Yehi Shema, Rabba, Kol Yisrael, Amen. Say shalom, Israel. Hallelujah, say shalom. Selena ve'al kol Yisrael. Kol Yosef Amen.
I'd like to invite Lori from Really American to share their story.
Nah.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's my fault. Sorry.
14. 14. You okay? You got a white nose? You all right?
My name is Lori.
So, the chief of staff is inside the office.
I cover whatever happened. I'm with NBC News.
Did they vote on a speaker?
Yes. Mike Johnson.
Did he get it?
Yeah.
You might not be shut down.
I'm going home.
Let's go with that.
What it means to
Yeah, don't get me on camera talking politics.
Okay, are the procedures, are the procedures any different if they're in an office versus they were involved so we have the sentence. That's the sentence.
Just sitting up there. Particularly if the senator is. If the senator doesn't, yeah.
So it's only once the senator says.
I don't recall ever hearing the word. I don't recall ever hearing the
No, they gotta wait till this.
The Nakba, I was told, is how they refer to our declaration of independence. They say it was a catastrophe for the Jews to get a state. The implication was that they, the enemy, just have innate hatred for us, so they couldn't stand the idea. Nothing about the population equation. Nothing about ethnic cleansing. Nothing about 750,000 Palestinians.
Guys, again, please do not block the hallway, okay?
And then somehow they weren't. Not yet too skeptical of the ideology. I didn't think much of it. I certainly didn't question it. When I did begin to look into the history some more on my own, I learned about the 750,000 people. I asked an elder who I respected. They told me, well, yes, but they chose to leave. After that, I really started to do my own research. And over years, I went through the process that so many others I now know have gone through. Peeling back layer after layer after layer of half-truths and distortions and whitewashing, myths, and lies. Well, that was then. Today, I am here to stand up, to speak up for and stand in solidarity with my Palestinian sisters and brothers, my cousins. Because despite all of my connections to Israel, despite being all but alone in my Jewish community for having broken out of Zionism and blind support of Israel, today I have no trouble seeing what is clearly before my eyes, what's clearly before the world's eyes, what there are no two ways about if only you look. Right now, at this moment, Israel is committing mass atrocities against the Palestinian people in Gaza and in the West Bank. The West Bank does not get much attention because what Israel is doing in Gaza is so overwhelming. But the people in the West Bank are also being terrorized by Israel, as they have been for too long. And these days, it's even worse. So despite my Israeli passport, despite my Israeli family and my friends, and what many have let me know they think about the stance that I have taken unapologetically, condemning Israel's ongoing massacre of Gazans, I've been called a Nazi and a self-hating Jew, and a propagandist for Hamas, and a traitor to my people. And this for my family, friends, people I've known my entire life. I don't like it, I don't welcome it, but I'm also not going to let it stop me. Still, I do understand the I understand that this will be, and I understand the political cost of the moment of speaking up on behalf of Palestine. I understand that even discussing ceasefire and de-escalation is a third rail, certain as that may be. But I'm here to say that there are no risks, no political costs so high to justify this action. It is our responsibility to accept that risk and take on that cost. It's not just about trying to be humanitarians or doing the right thing. It's about being responsible for this. We are directly complicit in Israel's crime. They are in the midst of a campaign of ethnically cleansing the population of Gaza. They have said as much. And we are partnering with them directly. The United States gives Israel decisive financial aid and military aid, intelligence and diplomatic support. Israel bragged about dropping 6,000 bombs in the first 6 days. We're coming up on 20 days. How many thousands on thousands on thousands of bombs? Destroying completely, raising buildings after building, stealing away the lives of thousands, including what must be close to 2,000 kids by now, maybe more. Israel isn't actually alone. Those are American planes dropping American bombs. These are American-built and funded arms. Israel doesn't build F-15s and F-16s and F-35s. Those are Lockheed Martin fighter jets. They're Boeing F-15s. They're General Dynamics F-16. We are part of this. We do not have any legitimate ground for staying silent. Silence is not just complicity, it is contribution. Our silence is required for this to go on. They count on it. So this is not just an appeal to Senator Sanders' humanity. It's an appeal against inhumanity. Our collective inhumanity. Right now, we are being humane by paying for this, by letting it go on. We are calling for a stop to the inhumanity. Every hour when we are not doing all we can to stop this, an extra hour we contribute to it. We have no right to let political risk or personal costs get in the way. The lives and futures of millions of people hang in the balance. We are already too late. We have failed our Palestinian family. Thousands are dead. We could have done more sooner. We should have done more sooner. And now each of those lives is a debt we owe to the Palestinians. We should be willing to pay any price. My grandparents were alive. Those people who helped raise me, who loved me, spoiled me with candy, the grandparents do. I think they might disown me for standing against the Israeli state policy as I have. That is hard, as a heavy load to bear. To many like my grandparents, Israel was salvation, but it was only salvation. Perhaps understandable given their own unimaginable persecution, yet despite their ample wisdom on that, they were just wrong. And this is just right. We have to stand on principle, and we are calling on Senator Sanders to stand on principle, no matter the political price. Senator Sanders has had a long storied career. We have seen him step up. We've seen him stand by his values and meet the moment. We know he has helped to inspire many as he stood on the right side at critical moments. And right now, we are facing another critical, historic moment. We are inviting Bernie to join us. We are trying to stop a genocide. And the first step is an immediate, unconditional ceasefire. The grassroots are literally knocking on your door. We are inviting you to join us and lay it all on the line for this fight. Let that be your legacy. Let the name Bernie Sanders go down in history as a leader who stood up for the exploited and the oppressed, for the wretched of the earth. So join us, Bernie. Accept our backing and lead your policy in the Senate. Call for a ceasefire today, and don't stop until we get it. Call for an end to Israel's inhumane siege, a return of the captives, an immediate emergency humanitarian aid package for the people of Gaza who have been dragged through this bloody nightmare. Let's stop disgracing the history of persecution and oppression of our own people by simply saying the words "never again," and let's stand up and enforce it.
I can take questions. If you have a question, can you please raise your hand? I'm just gonna. We're gonna start with one question and then. Yeah, so Eva, can you tell us why we're here, what we're doing today?
Yeah, we are young Jews and allies from If Not Now who believe in Senator Sanders' principled anti-war leadership. And we are asking him to use that leadership to demand a ceasefire now. Many of our loved ones are among the thousands of Israelis and Palestinians who have been killed in recent weeks, in recent days, in recent hours. We are reading their names today in the senator's office to tell him what he already knows, that there is no military solution here, that we need a ceasefire, a release of the hostages, a de-escalation, and to address the root causes of this violence, which are decades of occupation, apartheid, and siege. These conditions have been costing lives in this region for decades, and the senator knows that, and he's been an important and visionary leader on calling that out and saying we need a different way. We need him now. Every day, our government's inaction costs hundreds or soon thousands of lives and risks destabilizing the entire region in another endless war with our loved ones at the center, of the type that the senator has spent his entire career advocating against. And the people, so many of the people who are advocating for more bombing, who are supporting a ground invasion and advocating for that war, do not care about our safety as Jews or the safety of any of our loved ones in Israel or in Palestine and Gaza in the West Bank. Some of these people are weapons contractors, Raytheon, Lockheed, who are looking to make a profit off of the deaths of our loved ones. Some of them are Christian Zionist Republicans, one of whom was just elected as the Speaker of the House. They are calling for Palestinian blood right now in genocidal terms. And we know that's not about our safety. Their vision includes Jews across the world gathering in Israel in a messianic version of the rapture that ends in all of our deaths. We know the senator knows all of this. And in the streets, Jews and Palestinians are rising up together right now through our grief in what is turning into the biggest revival, the biggest mobilization of the US anti-war movement since the war in Iraq. There is one person in the United States Senate who could help us lead that movement, who we need now. And that's why we're here saying, Bernie Sanders, we need you to call for a ceasefire now. I can take questions.
Can I ask one question? So the Biden administration is now suggesting, a humanitarian policies, not ceasefire. What do you think about it?
There is no strategy for the Netanyahu government after they raze Gaza to the ground. What then? A humanitarian pause for the Palestinians who are left in Gaza to flee with their belongings to somewhere else, and then the bombs continue to rain down, and then the ground invasion kills everyone left? There is no plan. What happens then? Israelis right now are calling out the Netanyahu government for advocating for maximum destruction right now, even at the expense of their own citizens. Some of our families, some of our friends, our relatives are among the hostages. The Netanyahu government doesn't care. A humanitarian pause so that everyone can get out and the bombing can continue? What is going to happen to our relatives? There's no plan. The only way towards safety is to actually call for a ceasefire, a de-escalation, release of the hostages, and to address the root causes of this violence. The audacity of the Israeli government that they can cage people for decades and brutalize them when they try to non-violently resist and not expect disaster to happen to their own citizens. We have people in our movement who have been in the Israeli army, and we are hearing this from soldiers in Breaking the Silence who are giving testimony that the army has been preparing for an attack of this level of devastation for years. And yet Netanyahu and his government have been escalating their far-right rhetoric and actions anyway. They knew. Israelis are saying that they knew this was coming and they left their citizens to die. So many of our loved ones are among them. That's why we're here, to call on the senator to say we need his leadership.
Many in the Middle East, the Arab-speaking world, the Palestinians particularly, feel like there's no value for their human lives. You know, they're being dehumanized. Do you think this is why most of the people in the Congress are not taking a step towards ceasing fire?
I don't know what to say, because I know that these are not the senator's values, but he is up against, and we are up against, plenty of people in our Congress who see Palestinians as less than human. We are here to say, again, as people with family and loved ones in Israel and Palestine, all human life is precious. We know the senator of all people knows that. And yet, so many in our government are comfortable allowing more and more bombs to rain down on Gaza and armed settlers to be killing Palestinians in the West Bank. My question for them is, what is it going to take for you to have the courage to call for ceasefire, which is how you know this ends? Because thousands of Palestinian deaths are not enough for some of them. Are they waiting for tens of thousands? And we are here because we know the senator is not the kind of person who would wait for double digits of massacre before he speaks out to say this is wrong and we need a ceasefire. We know he is not that kind of leader. We know that. That's why we're here calling on him to be the first voice in the Senate to explicitly call for a ceasefire now.
Thank you.
Can you talk about the value of showing up in physical space at the senator's office as opposed to just calls, emails, protests outside, but this particular tactic?
Of course. Many of us have tried to reach our lawmakers in many different ways this week, and we know they are not listening, which is why we have come into the senator's office to read names of people who have been killed, and also to say, these are some of the people who will be with you in your call to end this war, in your call to stop sending weapons to an Israeli government that has made explicit its genocidal intent and rhetoric when it comes to the Palestinian people. We are with you. These are the people who are with you. We're reading the names of Israelis and Palestinians, many of whom are our loved ones. And we're here to say that we are not leaving until you call for a ceasefire, as we know you can and as we fear only you can. Any other questions?
Majority of Democrats in the House, 120, have signed a letter supporting Biden's current actions in Israel. Only, I believe it was up to 18 House representatives, mostly part of the squad, Maxwell Frost and some from Illinois, have supported a ceasefire. Do you think this could actually have any movement to it? Do you think it could actually have any action? Bernie Sanders supporting something in the Senate?
We know that so much of what is happening right now is about a lack of political courage in the Democratic Party. And we know that because so many of the same Democrats who are refusing to call for ceasefire right now, who are willing to stay silent and effectively line up behind the war machine at this moment, have called out this Israeli government before. This is the same Israeli government that members have been signing letters and resolutions about, like, for the past several months, for the past year, that Biden would not even meet in the White House with Netanyahu because he knows who this Israeli government is and what they want. So we know they know about the danger here. We know they know about the scale of the damage, of the destruction, of the death that this government is capable of. That is not a hypothesis. We know that. And we are here to say, you know what the right answer is, and we are here until you have the courage to say that thousands of lives are too many, that 1,000 Israeli lives are too many, and also there have been too many Palestinian lives that have been cost by this violence already. We're just waiting. And every day, hundreds of more people die, and we risk a destabilization of the entire region and another endless war with our loved ones at the center.
All right, that's the last question.
Thank you.
Guys.
We are heartbroken in our grief, and we are looking to our lawmakers like Senator Bernie Sanders, who has inspired us, has inspired me to be the kind of person who would come to this office and fight for the lives of Israelis and Palestinians. And we're hoping, Senator Bernie Sanders, that we can continue to inspire you to be the leader that we know you can be and that we need right now. We began reading the names of all of those lost, and there's many, many more to read as we mourn here together. And we have been told that the senator will not be able to make it to meet with us, but we know that he's here. We know all of our lawmakers are here today, and so we want to make sure they can hear us in our grief and in our pain and in our call for a ceasefire. Over 300 Gazan children were killed just yesterday. We don't have time to wait. We want to know how many more Palestinians have to die, how many more Israelis, before we get a ceasefire, before we can count on our leaders. So we're going to move into the hallway where maybe they can hear us a little more in our grief and in our call. First, I will pass back the stones from our mourner's cottage to place on the senator's desk. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Each stone contains the weight of a life and the weight of a whole world. And we're mourning here today.
Clear this
So we don't
bathroom,
have
please.
to mourn one more Palestinian or Israeli life. Let this be the last shiva we sit in Senator Bernie Sanders' office.
Can you back up over there so we all get it? Thank you. And then we have lunch.
Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now.
Not in our name.
Not in our name.
Not in our name.
Genocide.
No genocide.
No genocide.
No genocide.
No genocide.
No genocide.
Genocide. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now.
Ceasefire
now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now.
Ceasefire now.
Ceasefire now.
Ceasefire now.
Senator Sanders, I hope you will join us as we mourn the Palestinians and Israelis killed. Please, we know you know how to do this. We know how we've seen you do everything in your power. And we are hoping and praying and ready for you to join us in your leadership to call for a ceasefire, for a release of the hostages, for a de-escalation. We believe in your leadership, and we need your leadership now more than ever. American Jews need you, the progressive movement needs you, Israeli Palestinians need you. And we're with you when you're ready to stand with us. Ceasefire now.
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 Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now.
Ceasefire now.
Ceasefire now.
Ceasefire now.
Ceasefire now.
Ceasefire now.
Ceasefire
You gotta record these, buddy. You ready? You are in violation of DC Code 22-1307, which prohibits demonstrations on Capitol grounds. If you do not cease and desist, you will be arrested. This is your first warning. Press out, out, out. Press out, press out. Press out of the perimeter. Out.
Guys, get back. Get back.
Not in our name. Not in our name. Not in our name.
will be subject to arrest. This is your second warning. Press back up! Back up!
Back up a little bit. Just a little bit, guys. Let's give some space. Thank you.
Third warning comes. We're going to come off from this way. Okay? You're in violation of DC Code, which prohibits demonstrations on Capitol grounds. If you do not cease and desist, you will be subject to arrest. This is your final warning. This is your final warning.
Not in our name.
Gotta make sure they all get one of your bands, buddy.
Not in our name. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire
gotta be in the hallway. Y'all gotta move by the walls. By the walls, by the walls, by the walls. Sergeant Howard, move by the walls. Clear the hallway. Clear the hallway. Hallway has to be clear. Move by the walls. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hallway's gotta be clear. Thank you.
Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Not in our name. Not in our name.
Me as well, please.
Where'd the stuff go here?
You took your naked.
It takes too long.
Any questions? Eva's available for comment. Thank you.
Do you happen to know exactly how many people were just ignoring? Okay. 14? Okay. Thank you.
No genocide.
First floor, right? Huh? Yeah, I got it. That's what I thought. Yeah. Everybody? C Street.
If you want to see them get loaded in outside, they just said 6th Street, so first floor, go outside. I'm still no worries, I'm just like. I just don't want them walking.
No. I told Kwame it was auditorium.
Yeah, but we don't yeah. That exit, I think. Again, this is all, yeah, they wouldn't be there yet, but we can look for the van or the bus.
I wonder if they would be where those cops came in. That's probably where the bus is. Remember?
Could be. I heard him say C Street, but honestly, like, this whole building's a maze. like when I get out, I have no. Do you have maps on your phone? Can you just see which side C Street is on?
But I can almost find you. It's not working. You guys, which way is C Street? That way. I think so. Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
Because that's where the police came in. Usually where they come in is where they.
All right, so in that case, we'll go in and to the, yeah, and to the left there. Once when I was covering the Kavanaugh hearings running around in here, I had a live commenter who wrote, "Run faster."
They can run for you. done enough exercise for the client yesterday.
Oh. They're gonna say the exit's closed. What's the closest open exit? This side? Okay. We could do this one and go around.
It's a catchy song now.
Yeah, right. Is your map able to tell which the... Oh, this is C. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
End up on some weird CCTV.
No, there's a way around.
I'm all good with hopping.
There's no moat traversing required for the shot.
Nothing going on there unless they're to the side.
There we are.
They are?
They're here.
Oh shit. I was right. Oh my god, it's singing and I can hear it from here and we get so far away.
Like I said, it's a maze.
Oh, it's...
I guarantee you, if they approach this way, they're gonna form a line. They're gonna go be like, stay back.
Across?
Yeah, you can do it across the street. Let's keep it on the other sidewalk. You can go to the back side. We get on the other side.
Yeah.
Get from the back side.
Get it from where you can't see anything. Go behind 5 layers of guards and you get it from there.
Other side of the wall.
Other side of the wall, yeah.
Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Not in our name. Not in our name. Not in our name. Not in our name. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. genocide.
Slightly cool.
No genocide.
The cop there with the sunglasses is shot. That's what they would arrest after that. He's a common fixture of Capitol Hill.
Not in our name. Not in our name.
Can we approach and yell?
Not in our name. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Woo!
Let her, everybody else. That's fine. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. No genocide. Ceasefire now.
Can you stop placing them? You want us to wait? You want us to hold stuff? Yeah.
On the side, and ask again.
It was giving permission.
Nobody can come over there. What questions you have?
Love you. Heroes! Standing up for what's right! Not in our name. Not in our name. Ceasefire now.
Well, like I filled out
Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now.
one person decided on the
Not in our name. Not in our name. Not in our name.
Anybody else got in there? I think we're in the
Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now.
Because this is
Breathe hard.
we're allowed to. Right, this is exactly we're like, I think
Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Not in our name. Not in our name.
I wouldn't say this fact, but I would say I think I've never put this about over a dozen of work, yeah. Oh, she just said 15. I heard someone else say 15.
Thank you. We're literally just talking about it.
Yeah, right. No, that's funny.
Can I
take picture with you?
Ceasefire
Picture with you?
Yeah.
Not in our name. Not in our name.
Now as you found it.
Not in our name.
I'm just gonna send her a picture.
No genocide.
like an old
No genocide. No genocide. Ceasefire now.
I'm Ukrainian.
Ceasefire now.
It's like
from South
Ceasefire
it's like when one
now.
country remakes a movie from another country.
Right,
They
right,
cast someone who looks like the equivalent of the person. Yeah, you're not doppelgangers, but it's like
Exactly. I'm like
if they
the
made an
Ukrainian
Iraqi
version.
film that was about you, then that would be a good person to play you.
There's actually
No genocide.
Really? Oh my God.
Ceasefire now. Not in our name.
Like there's a saying that
Not in our
each person
name.
has 40 people who look exactly like him.
Not in our name.
What's this phone number?
Genocide. No genocide. Not in our name. Not in our name. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire
I'm also working
now.
alongside you. Yeah, I'm glad we figured this out. Thank you for
Ceasefire now.
Right.
No
Right, nice meeting you.
genocide.
Hey, good to see you.
Good seeing you.
Yeah.
No genocide.
You musicians back.
No genocide.
Good.
say hello to wife.
I will.
Genocide. Ceasefire now. Not in our name. Not in our name.
She needs to get through. Let her through. Yeah, she wants to go through. So don't worry ahead, man. What can I do for you?
Not in our name. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Not in our name.
can give peace out there.
Ceasefire now. Not in our name. 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 Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Not in our name. Not in our name. Not in our name. Not in our name. No genocide. Ceasefire now. Got a little loud there. It's a complicated tune. Ceasefire now.
Out of your shot of the camera. Good for you.
Oh, thanks. I'm happy to be here.
I admire you.
Cheryl, good to see you again. Like yesterday. Our name. No genocide. Woo! Thank you for fighting for justice. Heroes standing up in this moment of history. We need a ceasefire. We don't want genocide in the name of the United States or in the name of the Jews. Not in our name. Ceasefire now. Don't let your government commit genocide with your money. This is wrong. Innocent children in Gaza, thousands are being killed with your money. This is wrong. Stand up. Tell your legislators we need a ceasefire now. Humanitarian ceasefire.
Okay, so with that, I'm going to cut the live feed here, but I heard someone said 15, someone said 14, so I'm not 100% sure, but about 14 or 15 people were arrested after protesting first inside Bernie Sanders' office, but my understanding is their staffers actually refused to trespass them, right? So if you're protesting inside the Senate office, it's essentially the Senate staff's decision whether or not those people should be arrested for it. Bernie Sanders apparently allowed that to take place there. They then migrated into the hallway, putting them into the discretion of the United States Capitol Police, who then did arrest them. So again, about 14 or 15, I guess we'll confirm later, but were arrested after protesting inside and then straight outside in the hallway of Bernie Sanders' office.